By the time I'm done making this video, the new biopic movie about Al Capone starring Tom Hardy will already be out, but the one thing that has come to my mind in regards to that movie is not necessarily the movie itself, but the movie's director Josh Trank. It is his first movie in 5 years, and the last time he did so was the infamous reboot known as Fantastic Four, or as some people call it, Fan-4-Stick, from 2015. Since it has been roughly 5 years since that financial and critical disaster was released, I think I should look back at the history behind it and what led to it becoming one of the most disliked comic book movies of all time. Let's first talk about two origins, the Fantastic Four and Josh Trank. The Fantastic Four were a group of superheroes that was created by Stan Lee. It was his attempt to make unique characters that he wanted to make for others to enjoy, instead of just making characters that his boss wanted.
Stan asked his wife Joan for advice.
She said, well, why don't you just once do a book the way you would like to do it instead of the way they want you to do it?
Because of the success of this comic, it led to an avalanche of other popular comic book characters that Stan Lee would create. But unfortunately, they've never seemed to get a good movie. There was the Roger Corman B-movie in the 90s that wasn't even supposed to see the light of day. And then there were the two movies from the 2000s that were very so-so, at least in my book.
Wow, you've been working out.
Shut up!
Now let's talk about Josh Trank. During the 2000s, he worked on a few movie-related projects here and there, but the video that got him noticed was making the video stabbing at Leia's 22nd birthday. This found footage style video went viral in a short amount of time, and it was enough to get him a movie called Chronicle to happen. Co-writing it with Max Landis, the son of director John Landis, Chronicle was a hit with audiences and critics, as well as making over tenfold its budget. Because of the success of this movie, as well as 20th Century Fox intending on keeping the film rights to the Fantastic Four, they felt that Josh Trank was the right director. I also felt this way since Chronicle was about a group of people with superpowers, and I still think that Chronicle is a great movie that still holds up. But then the first sign of trouble was when they announced the cast. The biggest complaint at the time was that the cast was too young, and I remember one of the users in the comments section on IMDb called them the Fantastic Babies. The one that drew the most criticism was Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, most noticeably since the character had been established to be a white character with blonde hair for decades. What made things even more confusing was that his sister in the movie was white like she was in the comics. The director defended his choice since his family has racially mixed relationships. Despite if people like this idea or not, the casting in general seemed a bit of a misfire compared to the cast who played the Fantastic Four back in the 2000s. Production itself would prove to be even worse. It was reported that Trank was not the best at leading production since he didn't really seem to have a clear vision of what he wanted his movie to be. This led to him being hard on Kate Mara since she wasn't the actress that he wanted to play that character, him almost getting into a fight with Miles Teller on set, and butting heads with various crew members and producers. When the original cut was finished, it was screened to the people who worked on the movie. The studio thought the movie was too violent and too long at 2 hours and 20 minutes, so they forced him to rewrite the movie to tone it down, and the cut of the movie would be down to 1 hour and 40 minutes. These reshoots are noticeable with Mara's wig being obvious in some shots, to even Teller's facial hair appearing and disappearing. Even some of the fight choreography wasn't that good. That is probably the weakest hit I've seen in a movie since.
Don't you pay any attention to the lying old hypocrite, sir. Now my rooms is...
The worst part about it was the studio locked Trank out of editing after he did all the reshoots that he was told to do, in which the movie was hijacked from him. The reshoots added $38 million to the final $155 million budget, and made things even more risky. On opening weekend, the movie had a dismal opening and critics panned it as well. The movie ended up losing up to $100 million, and to add insult to injury, Trank made a tweet about his disdain for the final cut of the movie saying, "A year ago I had a fantastic version of this. It would have received great reviews. You'll probably never see it. That's reality though." Personally, I don't think it's a terrible movie or even a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I do believe that there is a good movie somewhere within the wreckage. Even Toby Kebbell, who played Dr. Doom, said that the original cut was a better movie, and hints of it are shown in a cool hallway scene when the character goes on a rampage in a military base. Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League is a movie that I would love to see, but I would also be curious to see the director's cut of this movie. The movie wasn't a complete loss to the cast, since some of them would go on to be in critically acclaimed movies after this, and it turned out better for two of them since they would get married to each other years later. I know that Trank wasn't the most professional and clear when it came to making a big movie, but I do think that he does have talent. A mixture of a director with an unclear vision and a studio that forced too many reshoots was the catalyst to making this infamous movie. So anyway, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe.